straight into it. So this is my very first stream, Schooled by a Streamer, alright, and I am about to bring to you the finest of abstract reasoning gate questions. This is targeted at year 5s, so that is the demographic that will be sitting gate in 1 year's time. Not 1 year's time, just under 1 year's time. Remember, please do subscribe. Subscribing decreases the cost for you guys for elite sessions, as well as, you get updates. I'll be there to help. Follow us at this on Facebook. Tell your parents, tell yourself. If you have Facebook, you shouldn't, but if you do, follow us here. Join that page, alright? And obviously subscribe at the YouTube. Okay, now let's get straight into it. Right, so in GATE there are several different types of questions. This is the primary one that we'll be focusing on today. Alright, actually there's not several types, there's about 3 different types. Alright, 2 of them are structured like this, so usually it will be, alright, we've got one image here, then we go on to the next image here. Alright, there's a change, move on to the next question, there's a change, okay, and you have to spot the pattern, right? The other one will be, we'll see it later on as we go today. We might see it today, we might not, but obviously we'll see it in the next few sessions as we go. Let's start with this question here. Right, I'll give you about 2 minutes to put in the chat if you are live right now and watching, to drop your answer in the chat below before we work it out. This one's a fairly simple question, easy to start off with, will get more difficult as we continue. When I said 2 minutes, I lied, because you don't really get 2 minutes in your actual exam, right? But we will work through each individual question separately, obviously. Kind of looks like a dice, black background, right? It should be fine. There's no big problems here, right? And what we can see, 1, 2, 3 white spots here, then 2 white spots, and kind of like an outline of a white spot. Then that outline disappears. We've got 2 white spots, and we've got outline of another white spot. I noticed that the outline disappears in the next shape, so I assume it's going to disappear in this shape, and so our answer is going to be A. All good. Alright, so let's move on to the next question. The next question here is a bunch of lines, alright? This one will actually take you time. These ones usually take me time, they take lots of people time. They're not the easiest of questions, but you know what, we're gonna go through it anyway. Can't be that bad. Right, let's see what you guys have to come up with. Alright, so I assume everyone here would have seen there's some sort of pattern with this line here. It's moving down to here, right? You can see that. Let me get the laser pointer out. You can see that this line here moving down to here. Yeah, okay. Then this line here, it kind of moves back up again and then moves down again. If you can see that, I think you've pretty much worked out all of this. Then we just start adding lines, right? Look, we just added that line there. That line then goes 180 degrees, or flips, as you might say it, right? Flips across, right? That flips across. I assume on the next one it also flips across. All right, then each new shape, each new figure, we've got this here. We're just adding one essentially. So we've got this here, flips across to the next one, and then on the next one we add this, flips across to here in the next one. So we need something with a line up here like this, like this. All right. And then we need something with these 2 lines flipped across it. I assume here. So it's either C or D. We don't know which one yet. Okay. The next line we add will be up 45 degrees to this line that we added last time, which is here. So that means at all points now, at every single shape from here onwards, there will be a full straight line going down here. So that's how we know our answer is D, right? Look at that, very nice. Okay, yeah, cool. Let's go on to the next question. Here we are with the next question. We can see that there are a lot of shapes, right? Please don't mind the weird drawn arrows. It took me a lot of time to put together a whole bunch of questions, right? So we've got a whole bunch of questions that we're going to cover over the next few weeks, right? And if you join the elite session in a fortnight from now, that session will be 5 times more questions. We'll talk about that more in a bit. For now, let's go into this question here. The first thing I notice is what's happening along with these patterns here. Let me once again get the pointer. Yeah, this pattern. What's happening with those dotted lines here? It's kind of going flip. Right, that should be able to eliminate a couple of possibilities. So that eliminates B, option B for us. Alright, what's the next thing that you notice is happening? Alright, I can see there's a box in the middle. Right, this box in the middle is moving. So this one here, that box, then moves to here. Then from here, it moves to here. So up here. Right? And then from here, it moves to here. So right next to it, which is here. And then from here, where's it going to move next? Well, if you haven't noticed by now, it is following, or it is kind of following the direction of the arrow. So whichever way the arrow points is the way the box will move. Okay? So this arrow is pointing downwards. So it's going to go right here, just like that. Okay, so that arrow downwards, fantastic. It's gonna go here. So the box has to be, okay, I've got the grid behind us. Your gate paper won't have the grid behind you, unfortunately. Right, so the box gotta be here. That looks like option B. All right, and we eliminated option A a little bit earlier. Oh, we eliminated option, which one do we eliminate earlier? We eliminated option B and option earlier. And we have B and A remaining. Sorry about that. We have option B and A remaining. Well, those are the two possibilities. And we looked at the dotted lines. So the dotted lines is all pointing towards option A. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, let's talk about the elite session. We'll be covering 5 times, more than 5 times actually, more than 5 times the amount of questions that we're going to cover today. Honestly, for all your abstract reasoning needs, this is probably the best you'll get all across WA and maybe even Australia. I'm not going to pitch myself that highly, but probably across WA, this is probably the most targeted and the most effective lesson out there. It is kind of a crash course style. So once you complete this, yes, obviously go on to do practice. And you might be asking, well, are you just stealing all the questions from Gate and then rewriting and going through them individually? I have actually spent a lot of hours, so you're going to get a lot of questions that you may never have seen before. One of the many benefits to this is that we're going to be sending out a link personally. So I am personally going to send out a link to you, right? So that is one of the biggest highlights I reckon you'll see from this, right? That means I will send you an email with a joining code, with a link, all right? It will be held on YouTube once again, right? But it will be a private stream, so only people with the Google account registered can view it, right? Which is great. And there are 200 students. I'm capping it to 200 students. There is a link in the description to a Google form which you can fill out, and I will send that link out personally to you. It does have a cost to it, so all the details are in the Google form, right? And this is happening on the 10th of October at 6 p.m. All right. When you register for this link, and if you're on the Facebook page, you can feel free to message me. Feel free to ask any questions about Gate in general, not specifically abstract reasoning. Feel free to ask about anything, and of course, remember to subscribe. All right, let's go on to the next couple of questions. I'll give you guys a minute to think about this. So, as you can see here, we have a pentagon. The pentagon has several different shapes in it. We've got a parallelogram, we've got a triangle, we've got a moon, like a crescent. We've got a star. Oh, don't mind the stars throughout all of this. Yeah, this program's very nice with their snapping tool. So it's just easier to draw the stars like that. Don't worry so much. And we've got circle. Here we'll notice we've got circle. We've got a square as well in this one. We've got a square here as well. This one doesn't have a square for some reason. Why does this one not have a square? I'm sensing that they're rotating these around in some sort of particular order. I'm not sure which order, but then every now and again they swap one piece out. Not every now and again, but in particular they swap one piece out. So the square is currently being swapped out. Right, actually I'm gonna... So I'll let you, using that knowledge, try and figure out what exactly is happening and what is being swapped out today. What have we guys figured out? I hope everyone arrived at option D. Let's look at the circle. Circle goes from here, it goes to this position. Okay, so and then it goes to here, and then it goes to here. Triangle goes from here to this position. So what I'm seeing is it goes from here, then here. Circle went there as well. So there, there. Let's look at the star. The star is going from here to here. Right, circle goes from here. Yep, that checks out as well. Star goes from here to here. And then this position, the square, is no longer in this image. So I'm going to sub off. This is the substitution problem. Right, so the square is here along the outside here. And as you can see, the square here then subs off here. So what I'm seeing is 1, 2, 3, substitute out. Then I assume you're probably coming back and substituting in. Let's check that really quickly. If we assume the crescent was out because there is no crescent in this picture, okay, then the crescent on the next one here is substituting in. It goes into that position. So what I can see is it goes here, 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 sub out, and then comes back in here. Then from here, where would this go? This one is we're going back to the start. As you can see, we are going back to the start. Right, so let's do it on the last pattern image. So what do we decide? Decide here, 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 substitute out. Then we go to the star, and then we go around here. Right. So that means we need one with a square here, sorry, and a crescent here. Right, that should be enough to actually work out the answer, although we could literally draw the answer all from scratch if we needed to. Right, so that is enough to work out the answer. Look, square here. Right, so we've got square here, cross out B and cross out A. And then crescent, we decided would go here. The crescent here is option D. Is that what we said? I believe it is. Let's keep going. On to the next question. Drop your answer for this question. Right, this question in particular. Put it in the comments. What was your answer for this? I should be seeing a lot of the letter B in the comments. All right, B is the correct answer. If you had B, good job. Let's try and work out why. We've got the longest hand here, then it's here, then it's here, then it's here. That seems just like it's going around 45 degrees at a time. Right, so we should have the longest hand at the bottom. Right, so, oh, well, that eliminates nothing for us. That eliminates absolutely no answers. I guess that was a bit of a waste of time, but we did understand what's happening. Right. So then we've got the medium hand, it goes one across to there. Right, so it goes here, here, here. Okay, it's jumping a lot each time. Right now it goes 45 degrees, about. From 45 it goes to 90 more degrees. And then from 90 it goes up to 135 degrees. And then after 135 would be here. We'd assume it goes 45 more. So it's increasing each time. So it goes an eighth of a turn, then a quarter of a turn, then 3/8 of a turn. Then it will be half a turn. Right, so this should be going straight down. The middle hand should be going straight down. Right, oh, look at that. B is the only option here where the middle hand is actually going straight down. Right, that is why it is B. Right, let's look at the shorthand just in case, you know, we missed something, or just in case you want to know. Right, it's here, then it's going down, and it's going here, and it's going here. You would assume it's going anti-clockwise, 45 degrees each time, so it goes up. Perfect. Okay. Didn't want to keep that one. It's not the hardest one, but it is. I'd say it is a tricky one. People just get a bit lost between the different hands. Right, let's try this question. Let's try this question as we go. Okay, so we've got a dotted circle. This then turns into a full circle. got a grey circle, which turns into an empty circle, or no circle. Then we've got then we've got two grey circles, right? Two grey circles, right? They turn into empty, or no circle. So this means the grey is turning to no circle, and the dotted here is turning into a full circle. So that's obviously the only real thing I could see from this sort of a question. So these dotted circles should appear as two full circles. All right, we've got two full circles right here. C is looking pretty good. C is looking like the only option that has that. All right, let's just check a little bit further in case, this grey circle should disappear. This black circle remains the same. And this dotted circle, remember that dotted circles don't really have any pattern. They can appear at any time, and it is appearing at any time. So it is option C. Option C is the correct answer. I am once again hosting a elite session. All right, this elite session does have a little bit of a cost to it. All right, however, you will get many benefits. One of the benefits including a personalized email, which is sent out from me. All right, it's probably going to be about a 2.5 hour session. Not the worst thing, but it's not a short. It's definitely value for the money, right? And yeah, we're gonna keep at it. And if you unfortunately cannot make it, that's fine as well. At least follow us here. Follow me here. These two, both the socials are good. We were having some problems earlier with our Facebook page, but I believe that's all sorted. Subscribe to this channel, right? Helps a lot. It will cut down the cost for these, so then eventually more people can probably come to the elite sessions, probably make a few friends in the chat as well. All right, might know each other. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about this channel. Tell your friends about me. Let's go on to the next question. The next question, we've got a grid. Okay, so this is a grid style question. We've got a few more grid style questions coming up, not today, but next week. And in the elite session, we have many grid style questions, or very similar to grid style questions. These ones are usually following the next pattern, right? So we can see that this moves across here, this moves across there, this one moves across one more. We can see what's happening in the grid, and basically things in the grid just move around in a particular way that we will try and work out. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I've already told you about the top one. Just moves across to the right one at a time. So it's probably going to be B or C. Which one? All right. So we've eliminated the two silly choices, the two choices where it's out here, no good. It's not helpful for us whatsoever. So let's try and work out the one which is the effective or the correct choice. I'll give you a minute to do that. We should be getting the answer C. All right, I have told you the answer. All right, this is the simple question. It's a very simple grid question. All right, we'll see a lot more difficult ones in the future. Once again, the diagonal stripes move across to the right one at a time. The black square you can see is going here, here, oh, and then hold up, it goes here, 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 here. Then I assume it's going in a smaller circle, so I'm going to say it goes in this kind of a pattern. Once again, we eliminated B for that very reason, because it can't be in the center spot there. After it goes here, it must go here. Right, so yeah, I guess D and A follow that pattern, however they don't follow the striped one. Right, let's see what the star is doing just in case. Imagine if we had some different options instead, right, and the star and these two were in the correct spots. Then how are we going to figure this out? Right, the star goes down, goes to here, and goes back up here, and goes here. I assume it's bouncing along the two corners, the two top left corner and the bottom right corner. So the star is going between here, like this. It's probably going to go here next, and then after it goes here, it goes here. Option C follows that. That's great. Okay, option B also follows that. No problems. And the smiley face, very simple. It's also going down, and then it goes back up in the middle row. Right, so you can see it's here, then it goes to here, then it goes down one more, and then it goes up to the very top, and then it's going to come down. Yeah, looping around. I don't know what you call that. I think there's a word for that. Anyway, let's go on to the next question. The next question is a little bit trickier. I assume you can probably hear some crickets chirping in the background. Alright, let's look at this picture here. I can see that the shapes are moving around in some direction, and the colors are moving around. But the colors are moving around, it's a lot easier to notice. And there's one striped one which keeps moving around as well. So the colors and including the stripes are moving around. Right. So the three shaded ones swap. Right. So you can see how they just swap with the ones opposite them in the opposite row. Okay. So this shaded one will go down here. The other ones will go up like that. You can think about it like that as well. So just based off that, I'm going to see that this one, and this one is shaded. Right, that is 1, 2, 3, yep. All of them except for B, where we've got some weird thing happening here where the star is now striped. That shouldn't happen, unless, well, it shouldn't happen in general. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at the shaded, this striped pattern. What's it? Steel. Right, it goes across one here, goes up one there, goes across one here. Can I assume it's going to this next one? Probably. So I'm going to say this one. That probably looks the best. I'm going to say it is A. But then we can also look at the shapes. So it's important to look at all the context, all the different things that can move, and all the different colors and shades and patterns that can change. It's really good to look at that, because if you don't understand it one way, there's always another way that will also help you get to the same answer. Okay, so I can see the circle moves there. This pentagon moves there, star moves down, circle moved across, the arrow moved across. Right, so they're just moving around in that kind of rotation. That only unfortunately eliminates option D, because the star moves up, so there should be a star in this corner here, which there is in A, B, and C, but not in D. And then you must work out how this, okay, option B just looks silly. So you look at the striped shape. Okay, now as we can see, this is actually my most favorite, and this is the last question for today, unfortunately. You can see we've got a line here, we've got a line there. The line is slightly kind of rotating this way. It's kind of rotating, you know. Right, it goes around. I assume it's going to rotate a bit more. Alright, so we've got two which are like this, and two which are like this one, sorry, and two which are more rotated. I'm going to go with the less rotated ones for now. So you might think, oh, that's this and this, they're less rotated. No, when we're coming from here, it's actually more rotated. Here we go, much more rotated, much more rotated. A and C. Right, so it's between A and C. Then I can see 1, 2 stars, 1, 2, 3 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. Okay, what I've noticed is the stars don't have anything to do with the line. That's where most students get tricked. They get to this one, oh, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. What has happened here? What in the world has happened here? Okay, you just need to realize that it doesn't matter where the stars go. We're just adding a star each time. Okay, so we should have 5 stars. Alright, which one has 5 stars out of A and C? C has 5 stars. That brings us to the end of the questions. Right, I'm going to once again have to plug it. Subscribe, guys. Definitely worth it. Loads more questions. I'll be publishing a whole bunch of shorts as well on some quick tutorial questions on how to do these kind of questions. You know, parents, please keep reminding your child to pay attention to this. This is a very important aspect of GATE. Very good to do. All right, and yeah, we'll continue that in a bit. 10th October. Join us. Join us. It's quite a big deal. You get to get a link from me. Once again, I'm streaming facelessly. You may know me, you may not. And if you're on Facebook, you can send me a message. I'll be sure to respond to it regarding anything. Be sure to subscribe and be sure to join the Facebook, and be sure to apply. We've got a link in the description, all right, on how to get into the elite gate. Otherwise, you can send me a message on Facebook if it's regarding the elite session. I'll be sure to respond to it. If it's regarding gate in general, I'll try and respond to it as well. All right, the best I can. And unfortunately, if you cannot make this for any reason whatsoever, I am holding a session next week. Next week should be our really great session. It's once again a free session just like this, but whole new bunch of questions, all right? I have the link in the poster that comes out. You might see it already on the Facebook page. If you're on the Facebook already, hit join event, or if you're about to join the Facebook, just hit I'm attending to the event, or and yeah, we'll get that underway. Right, that is next week, exactly the same time, 3rd October. I think that's a Tuesday as well. Be sure to join, and yeah, that's it. I'm going to end the stream there.